Denny Hamlin, driver of the number 11 FedEx Toyota. He brought gifts, brought the NASCAR simulator. Fritzy got in here around 6, about an hour before he normally does. And I told everybody, do not be in that NASCAR simulator until Denny gets in. And all of a sudden, Fritzy, we got him on surveillance camera. He had Paulie's racing helmet on, gloves, and he was behind the wheel there. But Denny, thank you for bringing gifts there. Do you have one of those in your house?
I don't, actually. I used to, but I don't anymore.
I heard you have 20 TVs in your house.
I did.
Wait, what happened here?
I sold my house off the lake.
Okay.
For good reason, though, because the boss, Joe Gibbs, was my next door neighbor.
Oh, so you couldn't get away with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a buzzkill.
Well, it was a couple times.
Did you ever get yelled at?
No, but, well, yes, by his wife. She called up many times. But he was always just one of the guys that just kind of showed up unexpectedly. And so that didn't work out too well.
Give me an idea of what kind of parties on the lake.
Oh, man, I used to have epic parties. Everyone at Lake Norman knew about them. It was usually Tuesday nights. I don't know, 100 to 200 people a week.
Close optional by the end of the night?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, there's a lake there, Denny.
Yeah, I wasn't out.
Oh, you weren't.
I wasn't outside for that stuff.
Did you have a lifeguard on duty?
Yeah, there was a few.
Oh. So Joe Gibbs would be your next door neighbor, and he would just walk over, like you would all of a sudden look up, and there's this Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be many times like we'd race on a Saturday night, we'd come home, and we'd just go directly out on the lake in the morning, and you know, by the time lunch came around, we were feeling okay. So he just comes on over and wants to talk about last night's race, and I was in no shape or form to do that.
Who would be your running buddy? NASCAR driver, if I said you could hang out with this guy for the weekend?
I'd say Clint Boyer's one of the funnest guys in the garage. He's sponsored by 5 Hour Energy, and he acts like he's on 10 Hour Energy all day long, so he's pretty crazy. But
who wouldn't be invited to your party?
Juan Pablo Montoya.
Because?
I don't hardly understand him. I can't understand what he's saying sometimes.
He could still be fun at the party.
Yeah, he's big in Columbia where he's from. He's the man.
Yeah. Well, he might bring some friends with him.
That wouldn't hurt.
Oh, yeah. That might be good or bad, though.
Yeah.
Jeff Gordon, would he be invited?
Too old.
Okay, what's the age limit here? Like, if you're over 30, you can't come in? Tony Stewart's old?
No, 40.
40.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 31.
Okay, so Tony Stewart you'd invite.
Yeah, because he's still single and fun.
Yeah. So once he gets married, then he can't show up?
Yeah.
But you sold the house on the lake. How's that helped your career?
I won more races.
Do you think there's a direct correlation between selling the lake house?
Yeah, it was. Joe always says it's complete bull that he worked his entire life to save up for this house, this huge house on the lake that he had, and my rookie season, I went out and bought the house right beside.
Do you guys have to like each other, though, fellow drivers? Is it a benefit to like or not like?
I think it's a benefit to like, because really, when you race another guy, you can, if you don't like him, you can just make his life a living hell. It'll be impossible to pass you. I feel like I earned really good relationship with all the guys that I race with, and respect them, and they show me a lot of respect on the racetrack. So it pays its dividends. When you're a pain in the ass, it's not good for you.
Who do you not get along with?
I really don't get along with anyone. I mean, there's not anyone that I don't get along with. I think that everyone, I have a mutual respect with. So I think there's some guys that always, rub each other. Guys like Kyle Busch and
how much
Kevin
of that
Harvick.
is an act that with Kyle Busch? Or Kurt Busch?
I don't think any of it is.
Do you think that's who they really are? It seems like they embrace this whole bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, to a point. To a point, I think that Kyle went through a tough time being sit out last year, and so I think that some of it's more portrayed in the media than what he is actually. I think he's a nicer guy than what he's portrayed. I think they only show sometimes the bad side of him, not the good side of him. But he's a teammate, and he's been a great teammate to me.
He's Denny Hamlin, driver of the number 11 FedEx Toyota, joining us in the man cave. By the way, what do you think of the digs here?
This is pretty awesome.
Yeah, you got full bar over here. We got a few flat screens.
You asked me about lifeguards. Where's the bartender?
She is sobering up. She'll be up here in a little bit here.
Okay.
But we like when it smells like beer and wings. Our bar opens up at noon Eastern.
Okay, good.
Just to let you know. I made a mistake a couple of years ago in Chicago. Pre-race, which I always find interesting. Imagine you're playing for a Super Bowl and you're talking to the players like 2 minutes before you go on the field. So here you are in Chicago, and Jimmy Johnson is there. And I'm talking to Jimmy Johnson. And I'm acting like I know what the hell's going on here. I lean on his spoiler. And Chad Knaus, crew chief, is staring at. He would have killed me,
right?
But I'm leaning on it, and you could see Chad Knaus just staring at me, going, "Dude, make one more move, and I'll crush you." How big a mistake did I make by leaning on Jimmy Johnson's spoiler?
Well, it was only a mistake because it was Jimmy Johnson's spoiler. His probably moves. No one else's does.
Wow, you think so?
I don't.
Chad Knaus makes it move.
He's known to be a little questionable at times.
But are you? If you're not cheating, you're not trying. Do you believe in that?
In racing, it is different. We are in an innovative sport where, by the rule books, all the cars are supposed to be the same. It's supposed to be settled by the drivers. But unfortunately, we have, at Joe Gibbs Racing, 450 employees putting these cars together, engineers, all this different stuff. And so we look for every little edge that we can. And so I think Chad's probably been suspended 3 or 4 times, something like that. But some people look at that as, oh, he's cheating. Other people look at it as saying, he's an innovator. And so I think he's somewhere in between.
Well, where do you stand? If you knew your crew chief was doing it,
then I knew I had a fast race car, so I'm not going to hate on him.
But I also find this, how much does the driver know? Because the crew chief may say, look, I didn't tell anybody, I did it on my own. Is that something that can actually happen?
Yeah. Sometime. I know that there was one time in specific with Jimmy and Chad where Chad told him after the race, hey, I need you to damage the car before it goes through an inspection. Mm-hmm. And he said, what? And he's like, yeah, I need you to crack the back of the car. And then Jimmy looks over at him and he's like, hey, there's a camera watching us. And he's like, uh-oh. So they got caught on that. But needless to say, that the following race of the first race of the season of the next season, NASCAR hammered those guys. So,
and rightfully so.
Yeah. But they got it all overturned. The appeals guy works for Chevrolet. Used to work for Chevrolet. Worked out well for him.
So you think that could have had something to do with it?
Yeah.
How much politics goes on in NASCAR?
You want to be on their good side. That's for sure. I learned very early in my career that you definitely want to be on NASCAR's good side. It's not like other. It's, they pretty much run the show and tell you how it's going to go.
But is there an appeals process here? Or?
Say with that whole thing, when they know you got one up on them, things work out. They'll get it back one way or shape or form. There's many things that they can do to make your life tougher through inspection, things like that. But I think that they do a great job of making our sport fair and really letting the driver settle it.
Do you race differently now in the chase than you did during the regular season?
I'm going to try not to. Every chase I've been in, this is our 7th full year with our FedEx team, has been different. But this year, obviously, we're coming in with high expectations, being the number 1 seed. But I'm going to treat it, in 2010 when I lost the chase in the very final race, I took it too seriously. This year, I'm going to be way more relaxed, have a whole lot more fun, and just enjoy the moment.
But it took you a while to come back from losing the Cup. Like, you went to a sports psychologist. I mean, pretty deep stuff here.
Yeah, Bob Rotella. He's a
golf guy.
He's a golf guy. Yeah, I went and saw him, and he's an amazing guy. Actually, the things that he can do, and the things that he talks about, not even knowing squat about racing or how a race team is run, he does a great job with your leadership skills. Talking, getting in your head for the time that he's with you. And so I think he did a great job, and I think really for last year, we had a letdown year.
But how dark did you go? How deep did it affect you where you went undercover?
Well, not much. I mean, it's just our performance sucked. We were terrible last year, and for a lot of different reasons. Our cars were bad. We had terrible reliability, and on top of that, I was embarrassed of last year, of 2010. Because we lost it with a race or two to go. So that part of it sucked real bad. But I mean, it's he got into my head saying, look, you're gonna have many years to win a championship. Don't harp over this one. And people only see the positive side of you 90% of the time. So, don't hang your head low. Let's, be confident.
How many Cup girls have you dated?
None.
Sprint Cup girls?
None.
None?
Nope.
How many have you tried to?
None.
Well, where do you meet your women?
I don't meet any. I've got a baby on the way now.
Oh, so you're mature.
Yep.
Before that, though. Before that, though. Before that, though.
Oh, before that?
Yeah. I mean, okay, what guy do I want to follow? Who's the rock star in NASCAR?
I am.
Well, no, you're mature now. You have a girlfriend and a baby on the way.
I'm still the rock star.
Well, what would a typical, how would I know? Being with Tony Stewart?
Yeah, I mean.
And Junior, they do well.
Junior's found his woman.
But Tony hasn't.
He's settled down. Tony's on a trial basis right now.
Everything with Tony Stewart's on a trial basis.
Yeah, he's I can only imagine how tough it would be.
To be with Tony?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. The guy travels to 8 billion dirt car races a year, and I don't know. I know how he is out with friends and whatnot. He's a handful. He's a lot of fun though.
Seaton's got a Prius. Could you light up the tires on a Prius?
I could neutral drop it, but you probably drop the transmission right there on the ground.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Well, it'd be good for the show, Seaton. Could you do a power slide with that?
I could definitely do that.
So you could go and then spin right into a parking spot?
Oh, that would
no.
Just give me a little extra room on the first try. It's your car?
Yeah, it's Seaton's car.
You probably burn the tires faster in reverse than you could forward in that thing.
Wow.
Well, you get it into power mode.
Oh, yeah.
Baby really moves.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back. Denny's going to show us how to use the NASCAR simulator there, and maybe give the Danettes a tip as well. We'll get to your phone calls coming up on the show. Oh, let me ask you this. Now, think about this, because we'll come back and get your answer here. You got to be the tiebreaker. Ryan Reynolds just got married to Blake Lively. Is Blake Lively an upgrade over Scarlett Johansson? Now, think about that, because you're going to break the tie.